Today, we will be researching nanotechnology in sunscreen and cosmetics. We will be talking to our expert Ms. Lazenberry and our other expert Samantha. Later on in Bullseye, we will show our shocking hidden camera trial where our very own cleaner, Misty Duds, decided to try on some of our actress's makeup without her consent. This is just shocking, but we decided to test it anyway. So first off, our expert Ms. Lazenberry is going to educate us on what nanotechnology really is.
Nanotechnology is the ability that we now have to take materials down to and build them up from their atomic form. This means that we are now working with the tiniest of particles and have the ability to really create new substances with them. These particles are measured in nanometers, hence the term nanotechnology. The use of nanoparticles in sunscreen is one of the most common uses of nanotechnology in consumer products. By replacing traditional forms of atoms with nanoparticles of these substances, manufacturers can reduce the visibility of the cream. Ironically, whilst consumers apply sunscreen to stay healthy, the use of nanoparticles in sunscreen may prove riskier than sun exposure itself. Most studies have shown that nanoparticles do not reach the living cells. Well, the problem and reason nanotechnology keeps showing up in sensational news items is that these new preparations are formed on the molecular level and have not been around long enough to properly test their safety.
Now, I'm excited to announce that I have arranged an interview with our other amazing expert,
Once upon a time they were builders building because that's what they do. They applied sunscreen and the sunscreen contained titanium oxide. 8 months later, the roofing tiles had deteriorated because the reaction of titanium oxide on the tiles had caused the tiles to rust and wear away. Nanotechnology in sunscreens means that the cream that you apply to your skin will be less visible and non-greasy. Avobenzone is a common ingredient in sunscreens that block UVA and UVB rays. Unfortunately, it makes sunscreen very greasy. When avobenzone and other ingredients are converted into nanoparticles, the sunscreen doesn't appear to be greasy or white because the nanoparticles carry the ingredients of the sunscreen deeper into the skin, still maintaining the protection.
That is a very fascinating story, Samantha. Thank you. Now, for our shocking hidden camera trial, as I was saying before, our very own cleaner, who we trusted, Mr. Duds, had a snoop around our actress's house, around her room, and even put some of her makeup on. But yet, so here it is. Shocking, isn't it? I was just astounded, to be honest, but anyway, we decided to catch up with Mr. Duds to ask him what he thinks of his actions. So, hello, Mr. Duds.
A large number of sunscreens or products that contain sunscreens, such as moisturisers and foundations, contain vitamin A. This leads consumers to believe that they can safely go out into the sun, which isn't the case. Sunscreens on the market also boast SPF 50 or higher, yet no UVA protection is afforded by these products. Cosmetics that don't contain nanotechnology will not contain nanoparticles that absorb into your skin. Therefore, they are probably a lot better for you because, number one, they are natural, and number two, they don't contain nanoparticles as they are bare ingredients.
Sorry, I don't know what's happened to your other host, Sarah Taylor, but my name's Fiona Brown, and I'll be your host for the rest of this because she may have died, I'm not really sure, but anyway, so I'm your new host, Fiona Brown, and yeah, here we go. Here at Bullseye, we think that this issue of nanotechnology in cosmetics and sunscreen is particularly important because, I mean, everybody should be using sunscreens, especially in New Zealand, because, I mean, there's just this high sun exposure And those girls who just cake their makeup on, I mean, you know, you need to like just sort it out because they don't want to be getting nanotechnology and dangerous things into their skin that could be damaging later on in life because, I mean, many young girls and women use makeup and we don't want this danger. So we just felt that we needed to find out more about nanotechnology. So here we have Ms. Lazenberry and Samantha here to discuss the advantages and disadvantages of nanotechnology.
The solution for consumers to the problem of nanotechnology is to check whether or not the product that you are using has nanoparticles. If it doesn't say on the product, then try to find out more on the product's website or call the company. This may seem like a lot of work, but it is all worth it to protect yourself. More regulations need to be put in place regarding the use of nanotechnology. There are currently no rules to show whether or not the product has nanotechnology. And this needs to change because nanotechnology can be harmful to your body. Organic products that haven't been broken down into nanotechnology are better materials to use on our skin, as the atoms haven't been built up or broken down as a disadvantage of nanotechnology. I believe that there are more advantages than disadvantages in nanotechnology being added to consumer products. One, because it is lighter and non-greasy. Two, it is clear and it does not feel thick and cakey on the face.
However, I believe that there are a lot more disadvantages to nanotechnology in consumer products because it can cause cancer, it breaks up the skin cells, it damages the muscles, and the nanotechnology is broken down in particles of a larger material and it changes to cause many chemical reactions with your skin, resulting for some as skin cancer or brain defects. Also, some consumers believe that they are violated because they are not notified on how chemical reactions in nanotechnology occur and were added to their products that they trusted.
Thanks for watching this week's episode of Bullseye. We'll see you next week, and maybe your other host, Sarah Taylor, will be back. But I'm Fiona Brown. Thank you, and goodbye.